That OnlyFans model was given $11,000 to pour Gorilla Glue into a man's eyes and mouth. And you're not going to believe what happened next. Michaela Reilersdam was leading a double life as a housewife and OnlyFans model. She also had 3 children. One more thing about Michaela is that she was also an escort, something that her husband knew about. It's not like she was hiding all of this from him. Anyways, through the escort site, Michaela would get a message from a man named Michael Dale. Michael would go on to pursue Michaela, giving her gifts, tips, whatever. And obviously that was good for Michaela. Then Michael wanted something a little bit more than just chatting through that escort site. So he propositioned Michaela for something a little more intimate and a little more darker. What he wanted was something that involved BDSM. BDSM can also sometimes involve objects or equipment, depending on the activities. These may include restraints, blindfolds, ropes, paddles, or other specialized gear, but many people practice BDSM without using any objects at all. But in Michael Dale's case, he wanted the objects. Anyways, Michael asked Michaela if she could wrap him up like a mummy, super glue his eyes shut because he wanted her to be the last woman that he saw. And he also wanted Michaela to super glue a dildo into his mouth and to super glue boots onto his feet. He also wanted to be taped up with saran wrap or tape, like a mummy. In exchange, he would give Michaela $11,000 if she was willing to do that. At first, Michaela was hesitant. She was just like, I don't know, I never did anything like this. But she figured that she could do that for him and film it so she could use that as content, juicy content, for her OnlyFans site. So Michaela agreed. She was like, let's fucking go. Let's do this. So Michael gives her his WhatsApp number and they schedule a time and place to meet. They organize everything through the WhatsApp. And on April 17, 2023, they met up at Michael's apartment in Escondido, California, which is just north of San Diego. Fast forward to an hour into their meeting. Michael's roommate, Andrew, heard screaming coming from Michael's room. He heard Michael scream really loud, "Please stop. I want to stop now. I'll even pay you to stop now. I'll pay you more than I'm already paying you to stop right now." So Andrew, the roommate, rushes over to Michael's aid, obviously. He goes to his bedroom and breaks open his door. And there inside of Michael's bedroom, he finds Michael on the ground, wrapped in saran wrap, roped and duct taped, with Michaela pointing the camera at him, back and forth from her to him, while she was touching herself and lip syncing to music. Andrew was obviously like, what the fuck is going on? So he tells Michaela, like, look, this guy wants you to stop. He needs help. So Michaela calls 911 and begins to perform CPR on Michael. But it was too late. Michael died from being suffocated, which stemmed from oxygen deprivation due to the items placed on and around his head. So he wasn't necessarily taped up, like his mouth wasn't taped up, but there seemed to be a lot of restraints around his neck and head and body. Obviously, Michaela was questioned by cops and was pretty much arrested on the spot. It wouldn't be until 2 years later, though, that Michaela would plead guilty to involuntary manslaughter and is now serving 4 years in prison. All right, guys, I just want to know something. Who do you think is at fault here? Obviously, I feel like this was such a senseless and very, very, very tragic accident. And quite frankly, if you're going to do all of this, both parties need to be on the same page and have a safe word for when if shit hits the fan. And to be quite honest, I really don't think that those two had a safe word. Okay, but when someone is begging for you to stop, you kind of got to trust your instinct and stop. It showed disregard for human life right there. And also, that man should have known better. Like, what the fuck do you expect when you're begging for your mouth to be super glued with a toy in it and adhesive poured into your eyes? I'm mad at those two, but also I feel bad for them. Stay safe out there, you guys.